Hello, I'm Verdi Augusto, and this is the Schumann Resonance Harmonics channel on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everyone showing up. If you're new, welcome. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If it's not too much of a difficulty, please also hit the bell, the notification bell next to subscribe, and that will allow you to get all of the notifications. Otherwise, YouTube is likely to send you none of the notifications, and it's just simply how they work it. You have to be fully engaged with the channel, or you may not get any of the regular notifications. There's a lot going on here. So if it's not too much trouble, please remember to do that. And the notification bell only covers this channel and mine, right? They're not notifying you of anything else other than that. And furthermore, if you do get notified of this, just consider yourself lucky. Okay, so where I'm at with this, this video series is I'm doing a little differently. I may wind up doing it more like this in the future. I've kind of done this in pieces. This particular video will be, it's the last in the series of shorts, but it's going to be the introduction when I do the live stream, the overall, or the premiere, whatever it is. And so this is going to be the one that I put in the beginning of it, because there's a number of things that have needed to be addressed or corrected when I've done the, when I did the making of these videos. There were some things I had said that weren't factually correct. So this video is going to be to address the things that I said that were factually correct based on my research, and I'll kind of point this out. And I had wanted to, because I do these things. I'm the deep dive, as I say, and I do these videos. It's a process, and sometimes I have them all figured out, or largely figured out when I do them, and other times as I'm doing I'm in the process, things change. And this is one of those videos that I started out with a good framework, and it's changed as I've been doing it through no fault of my own, I think, or maybe through a limited fault of my own. I can't say it's no fault of my own. But it didn't go according to plan, but not, just because it's the way things go. And this one, and so doing these videos is always an involved process, because I want to give the best information. I want to give the best product. It takes a while. And there's multiple moving parts to this, so it doesn't always work out smoothly as I might otherwise plan. Okay, so, and I think I've said this kind of stuff before. This isn't particularly new to people who are familiar with the channel. If you're new to my channel, this may be new to you. If you're new to content producing, maybe this will be interesting to you. And I share with you folks, the difficulty of making this. Because it's, like this is my project, and you guys are part of this as well. It's not just me doing this by myself. There's helpers, and so you in the audience who are supportive. Some of you are technical, and it's I kind of am in the front of some of this, and it's good to let what's what the process is that it takes to make these, so you have a good idea of yourself. And it's not, I don't think it's as complicated or as bad as it seems. I think, I don't know, at least for me anyway. I have experience with doing videos. So, I kind of wanted to explain that a little bit about the process to this, because, I enjoy hearing people's process, and some of you enjoy hearing me discuss, the technical aspects to this. And for God's sakes, my channel is a technical channel. Part of my life has been making videos, doing audio video. So in the course of my life and in the explanation of this, I very much have the studio to show as a real life explanation of technology, of my experience with technology. And so you can see, I'm not just full of shit, but I actually make decent videos. I've talked a little bit about the process to make these. And I just wanted to say, like, I gave this some thought before, what do I want to say here in the introduction? I'm going to, explain the things that I have to factually address in time. So that was the first reason why I wanted to do this. But I gave it some thought, and, this is my work. This whole video, this series, this writing, all of this book, the small book, is my work. It's all my work. It's all my experience. I'm not citing anyone else. It's not anyone else's research. All of this is based on my own personal working experience. And I think this is important. I really want to share this with people. I want the average person who may not have much, if any, experience with this, to know what it takes as a technology person, as a technologist, as a tech, to get stuff done, in addition to dealing with people in the tech, how this is relating to the Schumann Resonances and why it's difficult for me to just talk about the Schumann Resonances as if it's, as if it's the easiest thing in the world. I want to explain a little bit about, what it takes to make these videos, which I've kind of been doing, like this, I cut it up. So let me, this was something I was thinking about, and in the process of how do I, this isn't just a video on, to address this particular one right here is not just a video to address incorrect facts. I'm also going to be using this video, a little different version of it, not just as the introduction to the full-length video, but this is also going to be part of the next section to this, the more advanced part to this, as if this wasn't advanced enough. The next part to this, on talking about the Tower of Babel, the where we are in the Aquarian Age, and lot more specifics about what the Aquarian Age is, what that aspect is, and that element of society, of where we're at now. This video has been one of the most fun that I've done because it's all mine, and I know that the majority of people don't need to unlearn something first to get this information. And a lot of this, what I've talked about in this particular one, has been just hands-on experience of a technician working with the public at large. And my experience as a technician working on the job, in addition to working with people. And I have more than 40 years experience doing work of all types for all kinds of people, working in a job, short period of time in a job, didn't work out, factory. I'm not working in a factory for, so I've worked a lot of different things, doing a lot of different types of jobs. And I wanted to share this, want to explain this. One of the jobs that I've done has been video editing. I have shared this before. I've worked on computers. I've worked on hardware. One of the first things my grandfather and I did together was we replaced the vacuum tubes in the Philco console. It was a television, console, black and white. The thing got like 4 channels, whatever. But these are some of my earliest memories, tech memories with my grandfather. I have as part of my experience in this, I want to share this with people, and I want to talk a little bit about me as an old man in this. And as I've been stitching this video together, it's been reminding me of the way that I used to do videos with a camera, and you import it as a DV, digital video, and then I captured it and created it as a video from through Premiere. And so that's the one that I'm using here. That's the video program that I'm using here, Premiere Pro. This is the copyright 2019 edition. The first story time with Verde will take you down memory road, right? Because I really want to share this. I really want to talk about this. It was in 1998, I think. I'm trying to remember the year. 99. It would have been between 99 to 2000, actually. My ex at the time, we went to an auction in Groton, this is in Connecticut, and this is 1999. Okay. I got my first like real computer. It was a Pentium. It was a Pentium P590, which is the Pentium 5, first true Pentium. And the 90 is a 90 megahertz processor. 90 megahertz processor. In case you don't know, they're up to 4 gigahertz processors now, 4 plus gigahertz, and that's just in consumer-based electronics. Your phone may have a quad-core 4 gigahertz processor. Gig is a billion, giga is a billion, meg is a million, kilo is 1,000, right? So the processor, the speed of the processor, it's a single core. It was a 90 megahertz processor. And I'm pretty sure the computer itself had, I think we got it to 128 megabytes of RAM, 128 megs of RAM. By contrast, this laptop I'm on has a 2.5 gigahertz processor with 2 gigabytes of RAM. I think it's more than 2. But it's at least got 2 gigs. And so we're talking about 20 plus years of difference in the technology. Cars don't improve or had not improved that much in 20 years. Now they put a plug in. Now the cars have a brain. Now a car is another computer. Everything that they have a sensor on, it's just one more computer. Humans plug them in, they're another computer. Anything with a silicone brain is just one more computer device, right? Your car is that way. It's a computer device that happens to have a space where you can sit and pilot the thing, but it's not. The cars aren't cars anymore. Steve, this was in Connecticut. We went to the auction at Steve, what's his name, Garden Party Shop. He had a space in the mall originally. This is the New London Mall, and this is story time with me. All right, so he had a space in the New London Mall with my ex, and so Steve, when they redid the mall, he moved over to the next town. Rich stayed there, blase. So Steve expanded. The Garden Party Shop expanded when he got a big new location. He went crazy, but he wasn't selling anything, and eventually he went bankrupt. And so as a part of that bankruptcy, we got a computer. So Rich he put a bid in for the Pentium P590, which was literally, it's like 4.5 feet tall. It was literally a tower, 4.5 feet tall. There was a big case. It was heavy. As those things were, it was a solid metal case, and it was heavy. We could use it for what we started calling it a boat anchor after not too long. When the thing was it was slower than Pony Express, but it got the work done. If you can, kind of shut down all the unnecessary stuff, it did just the video that I needed it, right? I used Adobe, it was Premiere version, I think it was version 4. Pretty sure it's version 4. And for the audio, I used SoundForge version 4.5. So I would mix the audio in SoundForge, bring it over to Adobe as a music file and MPEG, or in fact, I don't think it let me license MPEGs or MP3s. I didn't have the license, the Adobe Premiere version I used didn't let me license an MP3. So I couldn't use MP3s in the video, right? MPEG, moving picture MPEG layer 3. So I couldn't use that. So I used AAC format. I used other formats that were streaming formats or whatever. Eventually I was able to get the license and this and that, and there's places you can go to get a free license for licensing for use of MP3s, just so you can use them and listen to them. So eventually I found that. So again, this is before 2000. Okay, so the first It was a gateway. I should say this. It was a gateway P590. And like I think it started out with like 64 megs of RAM or less than that. It didn't have much. And to do video, because videos are big files, you need to have a lot of RAM, which is your random access memory module, RAM. That's random access. So it's like the memory. Things are different on the computer now, but there's still a basic framework that's there. The memory is the short-term storage of what basically your desktop is the random access memory. So when you open up your computer, what you see on the screen, the desktop, what they call the desktop, with the Aquarian age, they did away with the old, it's, into the news devices. So you have devices with apps. They're not programs. Everything's an app, right? Everything's changing within. It's important to mention this is within the course of my life that things have changed drastically and radically. Not only within the course of my lifetime of the 53 years, we're talking about within my business working life, which is half of that time. So within the 26 years that I have been, working, you go to school for the first 12 years, more schooling after that. I went to college, I have college degrees, and certificates and all this kind of stuff. Some of it did certificate of completion. I was there, I got the certificate. So within the course of my lifetime, right? The first half of my lifetime, there was no video editing. That was done at literally a shop. Literally, no one did video editing at their home. I mean, because equipment was rather expensive, no one had the hardware to be able to, unless you were in that field. Unless you're in the field of making movies, you don't have that equipment at your house. It's different now. Now anyone can be a content producer, and people are, and they put all kinds of stuff on the internet. But back when I started doing video editing, you had to go to a place. Like I trained at the public television studio, but relative to the hardcore video editing that, I hadn't done that until I got my own, system. I've seen it done. I have a familiarity with that, but that wasn't something, video, making film and all of that. That was not my forte. I like audio, video, broadcasting. I like radio. So I'm a different person in what my skills are and what I'm trained in than doing the video. So it took some effort, it took some learning to understand how to do non-linear video editing, non-linear video editing, non-linear audio editing. And that's the non-linear part is when it's not on a tape. Okay, if you have a magnetic tape, it's like one continuous tape, and it runs, and so you have to cut the tape and you splice it in. So non-linear editing is completely different. It's a completely different way of doing it. There's still principles of design that you have to follow. There are still editing principles. There's still visual style that is important. And just because the machine is doing a capture, it doesn't mean that there's not an aesthetics to the finished product, or that there should not necessarily be an aesthetics to the finished product, if you will. And one of my videos is a product, right? So it's important when I'm doing this to remember the design principles of editing coming into this. So the first machine that I edited videos on, P590, 64 megs of RAM, was not much. The video program didn't have as big of an overhead as this one. The original Premiere didn't work with digital video capture. It wasn't, they with the digital video, the controls for the transport are on the program. It's in Premiere itself. So version 6.0, Premiere 6.0 was the first one I used that had the capture feature. So you plug in through the it's bi-directional. The data link is a computer link into the camera, and you're not properly capturing it. You're uploading, going from the camera. You're uploading it as data. It's not an analog video. It becomes data. The DV, digital video. And in fact, it wasn't DV. It wasn't. There's a DV, a proper DV format, digital video. The one that I used was a step down from that. It was Sony. It was a digital 8. So the signal that gets put onto the tape is a digital signal. It's not an analog picture that you would have in film. In film, it's a picture. You take a photograph of it. Film is a continuous photograph. Within a second, you've taken 30 pictures. Right? That's what video essentially is. There's another standard that's 29.9, whatever. The broadcast standard is 30. Broadcast standard is like 29, or used to be 29.9 frames. And so there will be a little flicker. So the DV standard is 30 frames per second. Okay, it's a little higher quality. That's your sampling rate, essentially. So when I worked with video originally using Adobe Premiere, it's on this old, I learned how to do video on an ancient machine that would shut down sometimes if I was rendering and in the middle of something, because it would just get overwhelmed. Then I would have to make sure everything was shut down. I wasn't doing anything else on the computer, but I learned how to do video editing, nonlinear video editing on an old Pentium. Okay, so 90 megahertz machine. So this is, and that was before 2000. So let's just say around 2000, I had been, working, and I was up and running. So we're now 21 years into this. My career is now legal to drink. I'm legal, and so I've been working on. I've been working on videos. I've been working on this stuff for, verifiably for over 20 years. Right? So as I was doing this, stitching all this together, I'm doing this video in a way I haven't done before. I made a short. I really enjoyed doing this because it brought back a lot of memories. As I'm going in and I'm trimming a second here, I'm trimming out all the ums and knows and all of that stuff. It brought back a lot of memories for me. Talking with my ex about doing this and us discussing editing principles. And we would have a discussion. And so as I'm doing this, I remembered all of the, maybe not all, but a lot of the things my ex had told me about video editing and about editing in general, about aesthetics of how to make it look good on, a lot of these kind of intricate nuts and bolts that I hadn't considered before. This project has been a lot of fun. I got it all stitched together. I got some really nice, concise, solid video shorts. I really appreciate doing the videos that are concise, I think. I don't know if there was any bigger, broader kind of lesson or anything here. Let me say, when I do this capture, and I've been making my videos, I try to do it all in one take, and I pause as necessary. Rather than having to bring it back in and cut out parts, if I have to clear my throat, I try to shut it off and do that so I don't have to edit stuff. I can do it all in one take. And shorter material I can do in one take, and I like doing that because it's oh, it's a pain in the ass. Even though I know how the program works fine, I still have to, it, even if I cut 1 second out of a video, right, which is a pain in the ass. Let's just say I cut a minute out of a video, which makes it worth my time. In order to get that 1 minute out of that, I have to put everything on the timeline of the program. I have to find that. I have to locate it. Boom. The in point, the out point, ripple, delete. It's done the way I like it. Now I have to render it. Rendering it means assembling it. So the render process is it takes what's already there and it reforms it into a movie. So it makes another movie with all the cuts and the edits and anything you put in it. So half an hour video that I did the whole half an hour video to take a minute out of it is a whole nother half an hour just to fiddle with it, just to edit it, right? To put it in, name it, save it, all of that. That one half an hour video in finished time is another half an hour just to get it into the computer. Another half an hour to render it, to create a movie. And then there's another half an hour to put it online. So that's on top of the time that I already spent making it, in addition to all the time it takes to do the research and information. So the one half an hour video to get rid of the 1 minute will now take 4 hours of my time. A half an hour video to remove 1 minute of my time takes 4 hours. Right? That's why I don't edit them, because for every minute, it takes 4 minutes for that to get to you. Another, on top of what it's already taken to make the video, which is 5 hours. For every finished hour of a video time, it's 5 hours of prep. Okay, so in addition to that, to get the perfect, that 1 minute out of there, which was blah, 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 right? Didn't like it. Oh, I don't like it. That's another 3 times to edit the video. The one half an hour could wind up taking 5 hours of finished time. And that's before you guys asked me to do a premiere. That's before you said do a live stream. That's before I have to comment on anything. That's before I have to readdress any comments which you didn't understand. Doing this is a full-time career that doesn't necessarily pay anything. So I'm rambling on about this on my video because of the work it takes to do this. And it's important for you all to know, if you like me, you care about me, you want to see the videos, why I don't do more, right? I mean, maybe some people don't care. Maybe it doesn't matter, whatever. Oh, I want to see you. People, they want to see each other, right? There's no one here around me locally for me to see. All my subscribers are elsewhere. One's in New Mexico, one's in Death Valley, one in Australia, a couple in the UK, a bunch in Canada, one in Mexico. This is to do the video. I mean, it's important for you to know what it takes to do these. All right. And as much as this is a labor of love, it is very time consuming to do a proper video. So I have a good number of years experience doing the videos, doing these things, and I love doing them. But for me, it just takes a lot of work. And I have to remember that there's 10 of you who like hearing what I have to say. Otherwise, it's really easy for me just to not want to do more of these. I read the information for myself, right? The information that's up there, I read it for myself so I know. I don't need to do a video for myself to help me understand this video better. I do this for you guys. I do the videos for you guys. I would like you to support me on Patreon, but I also have stuff on the YouTube, on my website that is free. I need your support on the Patreon. I do. I don't make enough at the job that I'm working at to support myself and to be able to get a mobile home that I need to be able to get out of here. All right. So you Patreon people help me out in an immense way by supporting my channel. my YouTube channel is not monetized. I don't get anything for that. And if it was monetized, I wouldn't see anything. There's no point even me monetizing it because of how much music I have on there that I wouldn't be able to monetize anyway. I don't have any of the rights to the music. I could play them. I don't get a copyright strike. I don't get penalized, but I don't get monetized as well. I don't call that shadow banning. You can call it shadow banning if you like. I don't care. I don't get monetized. And even if it wasn't for that, I still wouldn't monetize through YouTube. Just so you know. I never intended to have this as a monetized channel. I like being asked to be a partner, whatever that means. But I of myself have no interest in the partner program of having them monetize my videos. And more to the point, just so you know, for those people that I have music, the artists I have music, if they have advertisement attached to their music, I'm allowed to have that on my channel, even though I don't monetize any of the music or any of that shit that they have an ad attached to their music. I have to let that on my channel. So just for the fact of having music and the possibility that there may be ads on it anyway, that's more than enough for me. I don't need to monetize my channel. And because, again, if it was monetized, I wouldn't see any money anyway. It would go all of it would go to the musicians that are making the music, whose music you enjoy. You know, I wanted to kind of take a stroll down memory lane with you as I'm doing these videos. It brings back a lot of memories. These series, there's a lot of editing in this. These 9 videos have been more editing than any of them I've had to do. And that's why I need the support from the Patreons. And if you just send me money through PayPal, that's fine. I'm also on Venmo, that's fine. I also have a GoFundMe page, which I've gotten people through the GoFundMe as well. So if you can support me, that would be great. I need your help. I need to get out of here. I need to move into, I need a mobile home, and that's what I'm looking for. This is what I'm doing this for, this particular video series, as a thank you to my Patreons, to let you know you're helping me, and I need to get out of here. So, like, you guys got to help me. You guys got to help me, right? That's the introduction to this. I wanted to talk about, doing the video and, and this particular one, because it was really, it brought back a lot of memories, and, made me think of Rich and Back at Home with Mr. Scrappy and just, all this kind of stuff. I miss the old days. I miss the 90s. I miss the 70s, and those aren't ever coming back. The 90s were, sort of here, but anyway, I miss the 70s. So, all right, so there's a few things on here. All right, so we're going to shift gears. All right, onto the content. All right, so I'm at the end of this section. I'm going to, as I've been doing this, I've been figuring out what I want to kind of do. I think this particular video, I'm going to have it, I'm going to do this as a premiere, and then I'm going to unlist it and have it as a Patreon video that's available only to Patreons. So, I have the video public to do the premiere, and then once the premiere is done, I flip it over to unlist it and have the address available through Patreon. So that's what I've done in a few cases, and I'm doing this, more and more in the future. So this is a part A, the part A of this that I explained all the video making and my experience with that. That's going to be sent up to Premiere. I'm sorry, but after the premiere, not the Adobe Premiere, the YouTube Premiere, I'm going to have that on Patreon. So it's time to play some music. So I'm going to have, because this is a premiere, I love you guys. You haven't heard any Aaron mix in a while. I'm going to have a good, decent clump of it, and then I'm going to do the final mix on this. Then I'm going to premiere it. So thinking of you guys, much love. All right, so let me find a mix. Yeah, I played this mix before, and it's one of my favorites. And I listen to it in the background when I'm doing some work. And we're getting it.
you got me all jacked up, jacked up, jacked up, jacked up, jacked up. Now you got me all jacked. Jack. Now you got me all jacked.